I see how it is.
That was in the comment.
All right, we're gonna do a few. It's gonna be really simple. We'll change up distance a little bit, but to start, we're gonna stay nice and close because again, this is process oriented. It's not so much outcome oriented. These are two big targets and they're really close. I'm confident all of you can hit A zones all day. If you've already seen it, y'all can do it. It's not necessarily the thing we're paying attention to. There's a couple things that we're doing instead. So I will shoot this a few times. We will do 2 rounds on each. It's enough to get a good recoil management rep. And if we add in more rounds, it'll be hard to keep track of what's going on. Button gets sticky. Right. That's what happens when you don't have a dot. Although, not too bad. You can go faster. Do it again. All right, for that last rep, you all saw what I was doing. Just picking a spot, right here. Fire 2, transition over. For the most part, I'm arriving in the same spot. However, on my last rep, I did this. What happened on my last rep? What do you think happened?
Pulled the trigger before you got all the way over on target.
You looked at the dot. Fucking said that.
Yeah, keep driving. Yeah, so there's a few things that happen. Usually what happens is you're transitioning from one target, you see the dot, the gun's recoiling, it's doing what it's supposed to do, and you transition looking through the optic, and the second the red touches brown, you fire. It's typically what happens. You're dragging rounds on. You can also drag rounds off. Dragging rounds off the target is when you start focusing more on the outcome of, I have 2 targets, I need to get to this one. Gun comes up, before I'm done shooting 2 rounds, I'm trying to move, and I'm outpacing the process of shooting. My brain's already thinking about that. I've done this a lot in the past. I'm thinking about that target before I'm even done addressing this one. And then you get into bang, bang, and then, oh, I see brown, bang, and then bang. So this drill is a drill about discipline. I'm shooting here. And then I'm going to adjust my focus to the same spot on this guy, and I'm not going to fire until the gun is here. I'm not going to let myself fire here. I'm not going to look short here in the brown because I know I need to transition to looking to a brown spot just like I did over here. It's not this one, it's this one right here. It's being very intentional with where I'm looking and then shooting that specific spot. Which is one reason I want to do this without the black visual paster, because this is where we go from looking at a spot on one target to reacquiring that same spot on another target. And this is very simple. Like, it's not a wide transition, but the mental process of doing this right here is the same. This target could be over there. It's still technically the same mental process of, I see this spot, I then need to go look at that spot over there. It's just wider. It's just going to be a little different as I move the gun over. But the process is going to be the same. I want to shoot this, I want to shoot that. I'm not shooting early, I'm not shooting late, I'm not transitioning super harsh. That's what happens when you tense your shoulders and you'll drive the gun past the target, then you have to come back. And the real objective is, here, I'll demo again. I used to transit, did anyone watch my videos back in like the good old days, 2017, 2019, 2020. I was pretty cringy back then. You saw some? Okay. Pretty cringy. I used to think that the fastest transition would be like getting really tense and aggressive on the target and moving through them. And on camera it looks great. And it felt pretty good. Like I seem to be getting to the target fast. The problem is, in the process of being really tense with my target transitions, I would almost always drive past the target, then have to come back, then acquire the target, and by the time all of that has happened, a more smooth shooter is going, this target, this target, this target, this target, would actually be faster. And I remember seeing videos of Ben Steger and a few other guys and being like, their transitions are sluggish as all get out. Like, they're just lackadaisically just kind of moving the gun through a sea of targets, but it's because they could shoot sooner, because they weren't adding all this extra input into the gun. It was just dot here, dot here, and there wasn't like all this extra like tension and weird stuff with your hips. Like there's a particular instructor who really likes to talk about transitioning on your knees. Gay. Like really gay. Like it looks good. The problem is you can't control it like well enough, and you're adding in a change in elevation at the same time. So like you're adding in all this extra stuff transitioning on your knees, and it's just like, no, dude, we're trying to make shooting simple. We're trying to make it repeatable. We're trying to make it consistent. Like if I had my way and I could set up for every like transition drill, I would aim this toe at my furthest target, this toe at my furthest target, like Shane Coley, and it would just be this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, and that's what it would look like. Now, that's optimal shooting position. You guys probably will get to be in that in a house, on the street, something like that. But philosophically and optimally, it would look something like this. So as we're shooting this drill, this is where a lot of tension's gonna come up. You're like, hey, these are close. I want to shoot them fast. I'm gonna get aggressive. And that's actually not gonna help. It's counterproductive to this process. We're already shooting a gun, which is a very violent thing. The gun's gonna handle the violent part down there. We don't have to do it ourselves. Like, let the gun do it. We just need to control the gun while the gun's doing the violent things over there. In this case, over here. Kind of make sense? Any questions on transitions? It's not too crazy. All right, let's do it.